Oh no.
What do you mean? Oh no. So I just hit record just so you know everything I'm going to say now is recorded.
Oh great. So when the recession happens, when they look at you, they'll also be looking at me.
No, 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 no. We're not here to talk about that per se. I'm in
Oh.
Playa del Carmen, Mexico this weekend. As you know,
Oh.
it's July 4th, so I like to make America great again from Mexico. Um, but the reason I wanted to talk to you is because I saw some things about local investments for Digital Town.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, it's because following your latest adventures at the different conferences you're at. And I was like, oh, we need to have a 5-minute chat with Faris.
All right.
So
I can get down
in
with that.
in the local investment in blockchain space, since we're at the middle of the year, what is happening? What's been going on?
So in terms of like just local community investment or local investment through like the lens of blockchain?
Local investment from a community level and then through blockchain lens.
Yeah, so I think one narrative has supported the other. So basically, a lot of people prior to kind of blockchain going mainstream, and I don't mean in the sense mainstream across the world, I just mean mainstream in the San Franciscos of the world, the Londons of the world, the New Yorks of the world, the Singapores of the world. But the people in those worlds think the rest of the world is thinking like their world, and it's not the case. Um, where at least some level of trickle down awareness has now permeated at least globally, where at least my mom is like saying, oh yeah, I heard about this Bitcoin thing, right? So I think that people have now managed to connect one dot with another, where they like the Facebook situation with the data with data brought data ownership to the limelight, and then people managed to now connect that with blockchain, and then they're connecting that with, okay, what can we do where these platforms are doing globally but locally, so we can take more sovereign control over our data, but also how we commercialize with whether that be with our local business or even one another. So I think that the blockchain narrative has supported an existing local narrative, but it's now been tethered with a pain point that people are seeing globally, with local businesses going out of business, fees going higher, people working longer to earn less. So these things were previously, I guess, known pains, but unattached to the extractive nature of big internet, where blockchain serves as a great response to that people are now becoming more acutely aware of.
Mm-hmm. No, no, I like this term, trickle down awareness.
I knew it. I knew you liked it so
No,
much.
I was like, oh, I'm gonna use this so often, trickle down awareness, because I tell people all the time we talk in a bubble in the blockchain space in particular. Um, but in order to have mass adoption, you need mass awareness and education. So
Yeah.
this whole concept of trickle down awareness is great, because it's good to hear that outside of our unique bubbles of San Francisco, New York, DC, etc., that not only blockchain but the impacts of big data on and e-commerce on local populations is taking place.
Yeah,
So
because it doesn't matter if you can go to your meetup in Silicon Valley and you get a couple million in funding and people think what you're doing is awesome. Can you go to Winston-Salem, North Carolina, with an ed tech startup that's built on blockchain and convince a superintendent that's 1 year away from retirement and a pension like this is the future? And if the answer is no, then you're just having a glorified cocktail party. It's no different when I just actually read a quote by my man Barack, who was at a cocktail party in Beverly Hills. And because you have a lot of people saying, oh, this is screwed up, like what's going on in the world, whatever. But it's eventually a bunch of rich people that are having cocktails with them. They're saying how messed up things are rather than going out and
yeah,
doing something about it. So it's the same kind of principle, except applied with blockchain and globally.
awesome, awesome. So in the last 90 seconds, you can either one, give yourself a shameless plug and talk about what you're doing for Digital Town, or two, tell us where you're going to be to help to be in the Winston-Salems of the world to be spreading awareness.
All right, I'll try to combine both in the 90 seconds.
All
So
right, go.
I'm Digital Town's chief instigator. So what that means is I work with the full spectrum of city actors, everywhere from mayor to someone currently homeless, people that are just in their own way impacted by the extractive nature of big internet, which in turn has scooped up way too much of the value that we create on a community level through wealth and through data. So We're currently really operationally focused in the greater Austin area. So Austin, Texas, Cedar Park, towns between Austin and San Antonio that I guarantee half the people listening to this have never heard of. Going to these places and telling them you are worthy of having these cloud-hosted solutions, and you can have them in a way where everything after the click can create more of a win-win. We're now citizens and businesses, there's too much losing going on, and there's too much struggle. So the whole idea is after you click, you create more abundance. And you can do that by using the same cloud-hosted solution, but delivered in a socially conscious way. So if you looked at, just to go totally left field, if you go to China and you look at WeChat and Alipay, imagine that, seamless. Everything's connected on one single sign-on. But in this case, it's not centralized. You own it. So it's decentralized tech with decentralized work structure. That's head of product. You don't need to, you don't need to know him.
All right.
So yeah, that's my hopefully my contribution to the movement.
Awesome. So where can people find you at on the internet, follow you, or find out more information about DigitalTown?
Oh wow, I'm glad you asked, because I'm getting into Twitter announcement. I'm getting into Twitter. So it's Faris_says. Basically, I lost my iPhone in Boston about 13 years ago, got bored and created a Twitter account, and now it's resurfacing. I'm also active on LinkedIn, Faris, Oweis. You'll find me. I comment on Samsung stuff all the time. And yeah, those are my two primary channels to hopefully share a lot of the goodness that's going on around the world, and also hopefully share some awareness on what we can do better.
Cool. Thank you very much, Faris, for taking out 5 minutes to have this interview. I'll tag all your information down below, and we'll talk to you later.
Always a pleasure, Samson. Always a pleasure.